It's Friday, August 26, 2022, and this is Dan Excelsior, the Mostly Marvel podcast. I'm Dennis, and I'll be your host as we review the latest Marvel happenings across all media, as well as other superpowered stories that caught our attention. And when I say we, I'm referring to my panel of fellow nerds joining me this evening. First up, it's the man behind the buttons and always on the lookout for spoilers. It's Ricky.
Hello. I got some spoilers I could share.
I'm sure you do, Ricky. That's why I said it, because I know you.
I know you. I won't for our listeners.
And for our listeners, apologies. I just muted my phone because I just remembered to do that. So no more beeping. Cool. Well, yeah, we have to get consent from everybody for spoilers.
Yeah.
So we can check with our
written and verbal.
We can get consent from our guest who's here joining us. I'm gonna say sadly, he wanted everybody to know this. He's becoming a Joel Kinnaman fan lately due to his time watching For All Mankind. You can call him the Doctor, and I'll call him Ian.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy to be here.
Joel Kinnaman.
I know that there's Joel Kinnaman hate amongst our group, our circle, but
I feel like we talked about this last time Ian was on here, right?
He's good on that show. That show itself is really good. That line will never go away, though. No, I think he's very good. I think he's good for TV. I don't know if he's a movie actor, but I've seen him do TV-wise. He's pretty good.
I like the one scene in the new RoboCop where they take him apart.
Is that because of his acting?
I thought he acted really well. You know, he's Gary Oldman, right? He's with him in that scene. The rest of that movie is booty, but
the whole movie is booty.
That 5 minutes where they take him apart, pretty cool.
Don't get Dennis started on the RoboCop remake.
I just kind of want to excuse myself and just go off screen like this. Just be like, I don't need to be here for this part of it.
Homer slide into the bushes.
Joel Kinnaman love aside, we're happy to have you back just because
happy to be here.
It's been a while, and I'll be honest, I haven't put together the whole slate of people to come chat She-Hulk and Harley Quinn, so I'm just thinking pretty much every week I'm like, who'd be fun to talk to, and then I ask him. And there you go. And then, you were the 8th person. No, I'm just kidding. No.
I'm glad I was number 10. That would be awesome.
You were the first person I asked, and thankfully you said yes. So, we'll get it worked out. It's just, I think Ricky threw me off last week when I learned that She-Hulk was 9 episodes rather than 6. And I got super excited for that because I had no idea, but I was like, whoa, I've got to plan 8 more weeks of this.
Yeah, right. No, I didn't lock in either, so that's good. Good info to know. That's exciting.
The good thing is, we're locked in. We have something to talk about, while DC continues to cancel their entire slate of everything. At least we can count on Marvel properties to carry us into 2023. So that's good. That's good news. Before we keep chatting, let me get the formalities out of the way really quick. We got a fun show here in store for you guys. As advertised, we'll be putting a spotlight on HBOMAX's season 3, episode 7 of Harley Quinn, and the newly dropped episode of She-Hulk Attorney at Law on Disney+. But before that, we have some nerd news to discuss and a quick round of trivia that I put together for you guys. For those of you joining us live, don't be shy. We'll be checking the comments regularly and particularly during trivia. We actually already have a comment that I will get to in a moment.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And if you can't get enough of us, you should visit us at patreon.com/10xmedia, where you will find a variety of creative offerings, including recent episodes of our live after show, The Soapbox. Patrons get exclusive access to chat with us, but if that's not your thing, don't worry. We'll be releasing it to the public next week. And just so it's out of the way for, I know it's a little early, but we did get a comment from someone from a different time zone who just left a comment like about 2 hours ago, just to let us know that they can't watch the show live, but they will check back to see our answer. And it's from Fraser McLaughlin, and he asked, hold on a second. He asked, "Why Harley Quinn, and why does she do it for you?" I'll check back.
The mystery.
I definitely have an answer for this question, but I'm gonna throw that out to. I mean, he says it's a question for me.
Yeah,
but I'm just curious what you guys think. Did you think it was weird that I chose for Harley Quinn season 3 to be something that we talk about every week on this show?
I don't want to say I turned you on to Harley Quinn, but I was definitely preaching the Harley Quinn song. Well, I was one of the first in our group chats, if I recall. And
I'm pretty sure Frank probably was the only person who was subscribing to DC Universe.
Oh, I was bootlegging it. I wasn't subscribing to DC.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll admit to that crime since they're out of business.
Yeah.
But I think once they started killing off people, I think in the first, I can't remember how far in the first season when they killed off. Who was the first one to die?
It's okay. Get to your point.
But that's what I'm like. Dennis will like this. They're doing some stuff here. They're pulling some weight.
What about you, Ian?
Yeah, I started watching the show because basically off the recommendation of you guys. I was probably going to watch it eventually. I like DC's properties. I like anything Batman-esque. But more specifically, I love when big companies like DC with their IPs allow somebody to just get freaky with it. Get weird, get crazy, get offensive, and take it to a place that they normally wouldn't go. And when you guys kind of described the show and we're like, that's what it is, I was sort of into it. And it's only gone, in my opinion, it's kind of only gotten stronger as it's grown as a show. So that's the reason for me is that I like to be able to play with my toys in a bunch of different playgrounds. Serious is great, but
these are the Spencer toys.
Yeah, like get offensive, get crazy, crash those toys together and see what happens.
Yeah, I think the short answer to really summarize, because I do agree with both of you guys, to echo you. I think the real simple truth is more than most shows that are based off superhero stuff, Harley Quinn has balls, just massive balls, like, because they will do the things that you as a fan of the comic books would never expect Warner Brothers to sign off on.
Exactly.
And now we're learning it's a very real possibility that the owners of Warner Brothers do not sign off on the things that are going. So this might be the last season of Harley Quinn, but in any case, like, I think there's always this conversation. That was my short answer. Now here's my longer answer. There's always this conversation that happens with comic book fans when, like there's a group of them that really get angry when they watch an adaptation that just tried something different and sucked. Right. And it's because, like, why didn't you just do the thing the way it was written? But the reality is, like, if you watch the things as they're written, it's kind of weird. Like sometimes, like, don't get me wrong. Like Sandman is pretty close. Careful, Ian. Thanks. Yeah. Sandman is pretty close to the book as written, and it's a really cool experience to see it. But the trick is, I know that there's like the community that watches Sandman versus mainstream, that read Sandman versus the mainstream comic book reader. They're not necessarily the same person all the time. And so that's a cool experience to take Sandman that is kind of like this niche story and bring it to a wider audience. But like,
People know Harley Quinn.
Exactly. It's pretty hard not to know who Harley Quinn is at this point in 2022. So the cool thing there is to see her doing things that you've never seen anybody do in the DC universe or the Marvel universe, and that's wholesale slaughtering of very cherished characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's amazing. Like, I think it's so cool, but I think it's also just really cool that she might be like probably the best version of that character that we've seen to date, just because they really take the time to think about like, what would she do in this situation, and so that's what makes it awesome, and that's why I keep watching. So until it gets canceled by Discovery soon.
Yep.
But thank you for your question, Fraser, and I hope that answers it. You should be watching it just like at a minimum, just to watch people just get murked. I accidentally, I mean, it's funny that was the answer we all had. I may have had a trivia question on that subject, which is why I didn't quite actually want Ricky to answer his own question earlier. But I found there's a wiki on the kill count of Harley Quinn, of that show, how many people have been killed on that show.
That's funny.
It's a lot. I
believe it.
Yeah. It's like 597. It's high. It's really high. That's just funny, and that's awesome. But it's very clever writing too. It's funny. So I'll keep watching it as long as it's on. But yeah. With that, before we move on to anything else, I mean, Ian, besides For All Mankind, what else have you been nerding out on lately?
I started watching Sandman. 6 or 7 episodes, I think, deep. Enjoying it. Yeah, so I'm watching through that, and
I know Ricky hasn't even watched another episode yet.
No, I have not. I want to. I might this weekend. I might crank another episode or two.
That bonus episode they dropped last week was so awesome. It's really cool.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much kind of been it. I just haven't really been, haven't really been focused on too much. Doing a little Fortnite, doing a little bit of, random shows
Fortnite's
here and
so
there.
good right now.
It's going to get better next season from all signs. At least if you're into Marvel.
In theory, yeah, that might be one of Ricky's news items in a week or two.
Yeah,
when they officially announce it.
Oh, it's not officially announced. It's on there.
No,
it's on the page.
Oh, it is officially announced.
If you go to their page, it's like the entire page is now. It's there.
Hopefully, that's Ricky's news.
Ricky definitely wasn't.
Update the news.
Ricky, do you need us to stall for a moment while you get that? That story?
I think this is some fake news right here.
On the Fortnite website?
It could be. I stay tuned to a lot of Fortnite leaks, so usually when they do updates, the data leaks happen pretty early. So I haven't seen nothing yet. I'd believe it if I see it.
I have definitely seen data leaks,
but multiple people have said it's going to be a Marvel season, specifically a Secret Wars season. So
yeah,
gotcha. Well, we have somebody else in the audience. I don't even want to know how to pronounce that name, but what's up? As long as you're mindful of everybody here and respectful, and you have fun questions to ask, welcome. Have fun.
Yeah, we're all homies.
Yeah. All right, Ricky, you want to do some news?
Yeah, let's go into the news.
Ooh.
All righty, today was a little bit of a doozy. Trusted source Deadline is coming out that Matt Shakman is going to be directing the Fantastic Four movie. So this was like, and it still is kind of a rumor. He directed all the episodes of WandaVision, has done about 40 episodes of Sunny. He's done a few episodes of The Boys, if I'm not mistaken, Succession. So he has a pretty good pedigree. But the rumor came out today that he was going to be directing, and then like a few hours later, it was officially announced that he is not going to be directing the fourth Star Trek movie for Paramount. And now all signs are pointing to that this is going to get announced at D23. But it tracks. Do you like WandaVision?
I think it was well directed.
Okay.
I do think it was very well
Gives
directed.
you hope.
Yeah, no, I think he did some really cool stuff with it. I think it takes a lot of talent to tell a Marvel story, but also tell it in a different voice every week with the like, I mean, there's a Malcolm in the Middle episode that we could fully tell was a Malcolm in the Middle episode, and that's skill, man.
It's
like
crazy
that's
that was the I mean, obviously COVID screwed everything up, but WandaVision was the first show out the gate. Like, imagine pitching, like getting, I don't know, they obviously have trust in their people, but that has to seem like the toughest sell.
I would say honestly, like, I mean, I know a lot of people have said it's aged really well. I don't really want to go back and rewatch it again. Like, just because the first few episodes are like, when are we getting to the point? But I will say, technically speaking, it is definitely the best of the shows that we've gotten to date.
Wow.
Like think about it. Like, it's the one that looked the most like a movie every week. And then intentionally also looked the most like a TV show every week. You know what I mean? Like, it every time it cut between scenes, it was a Marvel movie and then it was a TV show. You know, like, I think it's just a really good looking show. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki and What If all have their merits, but like technically what they achieved in that show is the closest thing to a Marvel movie. So yeah, I'm cool with it.
I went back and watched it before Doctor Strange. And just kind of blasted through it over a couple of days. And like you said, you know, you kind of need to get past those first few episodes when it starts to hit, you know, the stuff. But man, it was nice. It was actually good to go back. Elizabeth Olsen's performance in some of those episodes later on.
Well, her and Paul Bettany too.
On point. She was so good.
No, they're both amazing. It's just and I think we were singing their praises every episode, no matter how annoying a Darcy got or whatever. You know, like, there's so many little things I remember about it annoying me, but like, I know it at
Major
its core.
Goodner, Frank's favorite,
at
the
its
beekeeper
core,
suit, the Ultron.
At its core, it's got some cool stuff going on. And let's be honest though, like, it doesn't really matter who the director is, right? Like, it's half of the movie's already made. Like, it's already made.
Yeah,
that Fantastic Four movie is everything that we want to see is already been filmed.
I mean, we're 2 weeks from
not filmed, but you know what I mean.
Planned. We're 2 weeks from D23, so I'm assuming between now and the 9th, we will probably know the cast of this movie and X-Men. Like, even before D23 happens, maybe. That'll probably be where we see them for the first time. But the ship is leaking, and once it starts leaking, it usually goes under pretty quickly.
And our friend watching wanted us to just to be clear, that he loves Marvel, and good. That, I think that's a prerequisite.
You're in the right spot. Yeah. You're on the right.
You should definitely not turn the channel, because we do too. Yes.
Sticking with D23, they actually announced their slate. I believe earlier this week. So
I definitely cannot read that from the screen.
A lot of Marvel stuff happened at D23. The biggie, of course, being the Saturday, September 10th presentation. That is their Hall H equivalent. They call it Hall D23. So that's when we will see Matt get announced as the director of the Fantastic Four,
and hopefully get a cast announced too.
Yeah, we'll get the. I will bet we get the cast. Like, you don't do one or the other at this point.
It wouldn't be a big announcement at D23 to just be like, this guy's making a movie. the guy that did WandaVision. Like it's one of those, it's like, you know, Sam Raimi is making a movie that's kind of a little bigger because it's some, you know, Sam Raimi.
But even when they announced Sam Raimi, they brought out Benedict. They brought out Benedict, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Do you think the Fantastic Four hold weight in 2022?
The Fantastic Four will always hold weight. It's not about like, I mean, you got to realize like the comic fans are the ones that have convinced the world that these stories are worth listening to. You know what I mean? Like, because we were preaching it before anybody was paying attention to Marvel. And so if we haven't given up on the Fantastic Four, then there's no reason that Marvel will. And if Marvel doesn't give up on them, then the audiences won't either. You know what I mean? Like it's just like Spider-Man, you know, like people will complain, oh, why do we need to reboot Spider-Man again? Because then you get cool stuff. You get cool stuff. And so
you want the Dodge Fantastic Four car.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I think it'll be a non-issue once the movie once people see more of it, then they'll just be like excited, you know.
White gloves, white boots, and you're set.
Everybody's gonna hate on everything until it happens.
I just need to know if they're doing CG thing or whatever you want to call it.
Just gonna recast Mickey Rourke.
Bodysuit prosthetics, because I really hope that they go CG this time and can do a little bit.
Considering that we have She-Hulk on TV, I'm pretty sure the Thing is gonna be CG.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because that was the only thing that really hurt me in the last ones. I mean, they weren't great.
You got a CG thing.
There were other things that weren't great about them, but the fact that you could see his eyes in the costume was just too much.
I'm not even sure they were his eyes because does Michael Chiklis have blue eyes?
Oh, I don't know, but I mean, you could see like around his eyes.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Ricky's been trying to show us the slide a few times now, and so we'll finally. Marvel Legends. You know, I always like to talk about the Marvel Legends. Thankfully, they only had one thing to show off this week, and it was they actually announced this thing on Saturday after our show.
That's a little weird.
No, I forgot. Remember, that's the thing they're doing all year long to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Marvel Legends. Every month on the 20th, they do a tease, and so Saturday was the 20th, and so they let people know that they're going to get a retro card back, Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, with some new accessories, which are pretty cool. He's got those skeleton hands that are on fire. We've never had that before on a Ghost Rider figure. Really cool.
I like how he's bow-legged in the box. For the bike.
For the bike that doesn't come with him. Yeah. Well, it's like how he was packaged in the old Toy Biz one. Yeah. And then he also comes with a mid-transformation burning head of Johnny Blaze. So yeah, it's some new effects that are probably going to be really useful for that secret HasLab project that has not officially been announced, but will be announced at the end of the month. Sorry, not this month, the end of September, when Hasbro does their PulseCon event that they're doing on I think the 30th of September and October 1st. So yeah, it's already available for pre-order at fan channels. I love this figure. It looks great. I would like more motorcycles to come with my Ghost Riders, but whatever.
That's extra.
Yeah, it is extra. It's extra. And then Ricky has one last thing that I put in there. This is something I totally failed to mention in the main show last week, but we did talk about it in the soapbox for anybody who tuned in. But I, Denix Media is kind of all of us, but also it's me. It's me, Dennis, and I will be running a toy photography workshop next Saturday, September 3rd, from 12 to 2 p.m. In San Diego at Revision, which is an art studio that's local. And they are, if you happen to be in the area, they are taking RSVPs. You just go to revisionsandiego.com to sign up. We're trying to limit the amount of people that can participate, just because I'm going to be actually bringing stuff for them to work with and pose figures and try different backgrounds, diorama kind of stuff. And it's going to be a little crowded if there's too many people there.
Yeah.
So, you know, we want to make sure people have enough space, and we want to make sure we're not, you know, giving people COVID if we can avoid it. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I've never taught this before. Like, it's basically, you know, I self-taught over the pandemic. I watched a lot of YouTube videos and stuff, but like, it's kind of weird. I am currently taking a class to learn more formal photography training. And so I let my professor know, I'm like, hey, this is kind of weird, but like, I'm already teaching a workshop next week, and we just started this class this week. Is that weird? You know, like, but whatever. it's the world we live in. Like, everybody can be an expert without actually having formal training.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for this, and I hope that people should turn out to play with toys, tell stories, and learn how to do some cool tricks with photos.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. That's
Congrats
the
on
news.
that, man. That's really cool.
Thanks. It is exciting. You know what else is exciting?
What?
I made a game for you guys.
You did?
I did.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So for this one, I'm not trying to downplay it. But I think I got a little overcomplicated with a few of them in the past recently. A little more work than I need to do and stuff. And I'm like, why can't I just do a regular old trivia where I ask these guys to see, what do you know? You know, and like, I just tried to make it relevant to the stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight. And the fun thing about these is if you get it wrong, guess what? You learn something. So
Yeah.
that's cool too, right?
Like the points don't matter anyways.
Yeah, so here you go. But I do have a bonus thing. Ricky, do you happen to have a piece of paper handy, by the way? And pen?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give Ian, our guest, a bonus chance for some extra points because you are our super fan, which I failed to mention earlier. You are one of our most loyal fans who watches and is a patron supporter.
He's a patron supporter of the highest tier.
Yes.
You can also
I think you know how Ricky operates in these trivias. And so I kind of want to give you the chance to not only guess the correct answer, but also before Ricky can say it, guess what you think Ricky would say.
Oh.
Oh man. All right.
That's how you want me to write it down?
I'm going to have Ricky write down his answers and we're going to let Ian go first on all of these, right?
Okay. Well,
and Ian gets 2. Even bonus points if you can explain his logic for why. My favorite ones are like when he just like, that just looks like a DC.
Yeah, it just feels like it.
Yeah, it just feels.
I mean,
So here we go. These are multiple choice, so not super hard.
Good.
But yeah, just one guess for what Ricky's going to answer, and what do you think the answer actually is? That's implying Ricky won't guess the right answers.
Oh, of course. Well, of course he won't.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. What do you know? First up, She-Hulk. Which team has She-Hulk not been a member of? A, Fantastic Four. B, New Warriors. C, Hulkbusters. D, Heroes for Hire. Or E, Avengers.
All right. Wow, this is a challenge. I'll admit that I know that this is going to make you sad, Dennis, but my She-Hulk history knowledge is not that strong. But I'm going to say, for my answer, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Fantastic Four. Now, Ricky is going to say the Hulkbusters. And his reason is because Hulk is in the name, so she can't have been a member of it.
I don't even think that's a real thing.
So Ricky, you wrote Hulkbusters?
Yeah, this is Hulkbusters.
All right. Cool. Good job. You get a point for getting Ricky's answer right. And unfortunately, you're wrong. She-Hulk has absolutely been a member of the Fantastic Four. She has never been a New Warrior. The Hulkbusters is actually a team of formed by S.H.I.E.L.D. of characters to stop the Hulk's villains while he was away on planet Sakaar, and they named themselves the Hulkbusters.
I don't know why they would do that, but that's cool.
Bussin makes me feel good.
Yeah, because the Hulk wasn't around to take care of him. Why? They're just his. Yeah, I don't know. It's a name.
They're just busting his villains. I love it.
But for the record, She-Hulk was actually one of the longest running members of the Fantastic Four. That's not one of the original four. There was an entire time in the comics where the Thing left the team, and they needed a bruiser in place, and she's just always been a friend of the family.
Where did he go?
He just mind your own business, all right? He just went somewhere. But She-Hulk was the team, the fill-in, and ever since then, she's always been an honorary member of the Fantastic Four.
Did anybody else step into the shoes for Thing while he was gone, or was it just her doing that?
I think during that storyline it was her, but other members have left. There was a time where Reed and Sue were trying to rekindle their marriage, so they went off into space to go like do adventures, and T'Challa and Storm replaced them during that time.
I remember.
Yeah,
that.
and then there's also at times where the entire team was missing, and so they formed a brand new Fantastic Four, which was Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Hulk, and Wolverine.
You got to sell that merch,
man. Let's make that movie. Let's make that be the.
God, what if that's the movie they announced?
Oh my god, that would be a cart before the horse kind of situation.
And I would be there for that cart.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Good job. Ian's got 1 point so far, and Ricky's got none. Okay. Ricky, write the next one down. Titania, which we saw briefly in episode 1, played by Jamila Jamil. Which Marvel character gave Titania her powers? A, High Evolutionary. B, Agatha Harkness. C, Doctor Doom. D, Kang. Or E, Loki.
Yeah, I definitely am not Tatiana expert. Or Titania. Yeah. Sorry, expert. So I'm gonna go with Kang, just because I don't have any other answer. Ricky is definitely going to pick.
I think Ricky might know this answer.
Yeah, see,
Dr. Doom.
I know. I'm in the mind of Ricky right now.
All right.
He's the only doctor. He's the only one with the medical degree to pull that off. So
I think High Evolutionary also is too. But I mean, Agatha Harkness, just to be clear, he's not using his medical degree to give people powers. But you are correct. It is Dr. Doom. I thought you would have known this because you read the Secret Wars.
Does he give her the powers in Secret Wars?
Yes. Titania was a brand new character introduced along with Volcana in Secret Wars. I think issue like 2 or 3, something like that. It's because he had all that alien tech at his base that he basically just took over.
Yeah.
On their weird little planet that they got transported to, and it just so happened like when the Beyonder brought.
It's like weird science.
The Beyonder brought a small part of Denver to their battle world, and these two women just happened to be wandering around in Denver, and Dr. Doom's like, "What up? You want me to make you into superpowered people?" And they're like, "Okay." And then they made them, and then Titania went a little crazy, and pretty much ever since then, she's been She-Hulk's #1 enemy. But Dr. Doom gave her powers. So there you go.
That's pretty cool.
So you still get a point, Ian, because you got.
Hey, you know what? Right? If I'm in the mind of Ricky, I'll take those points.
Yeah. All right. Cool. And Ricky's got 1 point now. So good job. Here we go. Next one. Back to She-Hulk. Which piece of She-Hulk trivia is false? Only 4 choices on this one. A, she went to the moon twice before going to Europe. B, volleyball player Gabrielle Reese was set to play her alongside Bill Bixby in a new show. C, she knows American Sign Language. Or D, she once merged with Shuri to become the Green Panther.
Wow.
Who's that behind She-Hulk that's flying on the left?
That's Valkyrie.
No, the other one.
Oh, I don't remember. It's a little small. It's hard to
It's
see.
Supergirl. You can tell.
It's probably not.
I would definitely think that it's not. Let's see. I'm going to say that it's false, huh? I'm going to go with D, that she once merged with Shuri to become the Green Panther. Although that totally, now that I read it, sounds like something comics would do. But I'm going to say that Ricky's going to pick that one as well.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, he wasn't even here. Okay.
I think he picked one, though. Ricky, did you pick one already? What is it? Just tell us.
She knows ASL. That's what Ricky's got on there.
All right. And Ian picked D.
D, I picked D.
Well, Ian got 1 point right.
Hey,
I actually changed this trivia. It was actually, the real fact was She-Hulk once merged with the Black Panther, the Black Widow, to become the Green Widow.
Okay.
Like merge, like Freaky Friday, or like they bodies.
Well, Freaky Friday is not a merge. That's a body swap.
Body swap, yeah.
So like they absorbed each other.
Sure.
Okay.
It's like Compound Hulk, how it's two people at once.
Oh.
But yeah, I was really impressed. Like, I didn't know this, but like in 1990, they were actually working to develop another like a spin-off of Bill Bixby's show to feature Gabrielle Reese as She-Hulk, and Bill Bixby was signed on to do it, but they ended up never moving forward with the pilot and stuff. So I was like, wow. Yeah, Bill Bixby in 1990 as the Hulk. That's
wow. Yeah,
that would have been.
Well, he would have been the Hulk. He would have been.
Well, as Banner, you know what I mean. Yes, but still, it would have been an old Banner. But in any case, cool. The rest of those are pretty cool fun facts too. All right, another. I think we got 3-1 right now, right?
Yeah.
Titania. Who does Titania eventually marry? I know this is just a straight up guess for all of you guys.
Absolutely.
But A, Volcana, B, Doc Samson, C, Hulk, D, Absorbing Man, or E, Molecule Man.
Oh,
Ricky
wow.
has written down his answer.
Yeah.
Ricky, I'm going to go with, I know very little about her, so I'm going to go with...
Has some mom jeans on in that one, that photo.
She does.
She does. Those are riding high. I'm going to go with Absorbing Man.
Cool. And what did Ricky say?
Ricky is going to go with Volcana because you said it earlier.
I didn't say Volcana.
No, he did. Dennis did.
I went Absorbing
Man.
Huh? Okay. 2 for Absorbing Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
He seems like a
Look
douche.
at that.
Yeah.
You guys got it right. They actually met in Secret Wars. And they later reunited and fell in love, and she proposed to him, and they got married.
Let me absorb your love. That's what she said.
Good guess. Good guess. So
yeah,
4-2, I think, right now.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it going. And then I threw a little curveball in here to segue into our next discussion. Harley Quinn. Which villain was not killed on Harley Quinn, the TV show? A, Scarecrow, B, Penguin, C, Mr. Freeze, D, Condiment King, or E, Mad Hatter?
Now this is embarrassing because I feel like I should remember the episode I watched yesterday. But I'll be honest, I don't exactly remember the finality of a specific sequence. So I am going to say Penguin. But I'm going to go with Penguin.
Wow.
They killed Penguin. I feel like that's too big of a character for them to have killed, and I would have remembered.
Bigger than Mr. Freeze?
Yeah, because I think Penguin's bigger than Mr. Freeze in my mind.
Penguin is bigger than Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, I'm going with Penguin. And
what's Ricky going with?
Ricky is going to go with the same.
I went Condiment King.
I thought
Interesting.
I thought he died.
Yeah, well, you guys are both wrong. It's technically a trick question. All 5 of them are dead. Spoilers, by the way, for tonight's episode.
Spoiler.
All 5 of them are dead, but only 4 of them were killed.
Right.
Mr. Freeze
Yeah.
actually chose to sacrifice himself to bring back his wife Nora, who was so nice to make the most of her life by going and banging Swamp Thing about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
She's just living her best life right now. But that was a sacrifice that Mr. Freeze chose to make. Everyone else was brutally murdered on the show.
Now I need to go and rewatch yesterday just to see the finality of that.
Now, I made sure not to say killed by Harley Quinn. The Joker killed Scarecrow. Harley Quinn killed Penguin. Poison Ivy actually got Frank to kill Condiment King and his fiance. He ate them all.
Yes.
Just one big gulp. And Harley did fully murder Mad Hatter this week on Harley Quinn. So yeah, pretty good. You did decent, but I think we should probably talk more about this Mad Hatter thing and everything else. So why don't we switch over to the spotlight?
Pew, 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 pew.
I love the sound effects that Ricky threw in there for us.
I had to find it for like a minute.
Yeah, you did. Okay, cool. We're gonna put a spotlight now. I know that the momentum died. Thanks for playing my silly game, by the way. The momentum was dying there, and I wanted to bring it back up. Harley Quinn episode 7 of season 3 was titled Another Sharkly Adventure. And spoiler warning, I know we already just spoiled a little bit of it in a few moments ago. But yeah, if you haven't watched the show this week, do yourself a favor, turn away and come back. You'll thank us later. I promise that the Mad Hatter thing was not the only thing to spoil of the whole episode.
No, there was stuff.
There was stuff that happened. But yeah, for those that want to ignore that warning, the quick summary is they didn't actually write one on IMDb. It's
just an episode.
That kind of worries me. It's like, does nobody care enough?
That person got fired
to write one. But I can give the summary. Basically, it's a continuation of last week where Poison Ivy knows that Bruce Wayne has Frank, and they're trying to figure out a way to get Frank. And they happen to find out that Catwoman has been invited to a gala that's being put on for Bruce specifically to get her to come. It's about cats and stuff. It's really hilarious. And so Harley decides that she's going to do a heist and go break into that gala and kidnap Bruce Wayne. And that's generally the gist of it. But the reason it's called Another Sharkly Adventure is because while that is the A story, the B story is Nanaue, aka King Shark, has to go home again to the ocean because his father has died. And it's okay if you don't feel too bad for him because his dad's kind of a dick, I guess. But he's got to go receive the crown and then
give it away
to his brother. It's his plan is to go give the crown immediately to his brother so that he doesn't have to take on the responsibilities. And so you have a cool back and forth going on in the episode where you get to see Harley's adventure and King Shark. And there may be some guest appearances by Batgirl and the Mad Hatter. But yeah, what'd you guys think of this episode? Like, what was the thing that really sold you on this one, I guess, is the question.
For me, there was a lot of fun points. I thought I wasn't enthralled by the King Shark B storyline. There was some funny stuff. There was some funny stuff there, but it wasn't like it just kind of went where I saw that it was going to go, I guess. But I really did enjoy the back and forth and the growing kind of friendship between Harley and Batgirl. I think that's a kind of a fun play on those characters, and I think that that's ripe for some cool stuff in the future. So I think that was sort of the thing that I enjoyed most on the episode.
Yeah, that was a pretty sweet thing to have her like leave Batgirl in the hands of a pervy Mad Hatter as his captive, and then she has this entire like inner argument with herself in the elevator, her therapist self, and she's convinced, fine, I gotta go rescue this girl, like it's really cool. I wouldn't I like Harley is just loyal to whoever she's loyal to. Like if it happens to be a good guy or a bad guy, whatever, but but I appreciate that where she stands with her friends, and so that was cool.
I thought the back and forth with her and her therapist self was cool. I like that they have that the other side of her is still there.
Yeah. Cool. The therapist was played by, the Mad Hatter was played by Griffin Newman.
Who's that?
He actually played Arthur on the Tick on the Amazon Amazon Prime series. I gotta be honest. When the Mad Hatter showed up, which was really funny because they teed it up really early, right? Like Batgirl was trying to like let Bruce and Dick know, hey, there's a new villain in town, and I think he's doing stuff with hats. I'm pretty sure it's the Mad Hatter, and Bruce is just in a grumpy state because Catwoman broke up with him, and he's like, just because people wear hats doesn't mean the Mad Hatter, and so everybody's dismissing Batgirl and stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure if hats are involved, it's always Jervis Tetch. And so when he finally showed up, I was really excited because I really liked that they leaned into this whole pervy thing that no, it's not pervy. This is a normal thing that my mom used to do to me and stuff. He had a lot of cool things going on, and I was like not expecting him to die in the same episode that they introduced him. I thought they had gold. They had comedic gold.
They burned that card.
They did. They just threw it down though.
They could have milked this guy for the rest of the season, and I was like, oh. But it was also really funny that she killed him. So she just bashed his face in 3 times with a baseball bat, and he's done.
I thought the name of the hat was incredible.
I can't.
The Cow News Boy hat.
Yes.
Cow News Boy hat.
And he had to explain the bill on the hat was necessary, and also the height of the hat. It was the most ridiculous hat ever.
So weird.
Just to mind control people. But yeah, Ricky, what about you? What was it? What was your favorite thing?
It was King Shark. I love Rod Funches, the voice actor. He's a hilarious comedian. I love just the King Shark. I mean, the voice is his voice. Like he's not putting on like a different spin on what he can do.
Yeah.
And just to hear that, like, it's almost like the super chill King Shark. And then when he flips out on his brother, like he gets super angry. And even his brother's like, "What are you doing? Like, there's a door right next to you."
I know, right?
And then the shark Jesus in the church, it's just there.
Shark Jesus was good.
And there's like a priest, and no one. It's just like accepted that they're all some type of Catholicism down there in the ocean. I was just cracking up. All the little sharkisms are the best.
Yeah, when he's talking about how like, oh, that guy banged his sister and his wife, like
yeah.
Gary Anthony Williams played the brother of King Shark. I recognize this guy, and I can't remember. Oh, he played Bebop in the Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadow movie.
Nice.
It was that guy.
That's awesome. I like that guy.
That guy's pretty funny, actually. No, he was hilarious because like I feel like that this kind of thing doesn't get done enough, but like in 2022, if you are part of this crazy tribe of people that just like gets a crown handed to you and you don't want that, you just cash in, right? You just sell the country or the kingdom to a land developer, and then you just move on and go have fun. And so I actually totally bought that was his plan, and he's gonna sell it to Ocean Master, who's like this shady, like, you know, landowner guy, who just wants to screw over his dick brother, aka Aquaman. But I thought it was really a funny episode because King Shark was offended by him doing this, but at the same time, like, he didn't want the job, right? He doesn't want the job. And so I guess it ultimately ends with King Shark is the king of them, right? Because he murdered his brother, much like he did his other 13 brothers, apparently. Apparently King Shark has killed every single one of his brothers before, in like not shown on screen. Yeah. No, I really yes, he did.
He ate them.
He did, yes. But yeah, no, Ricky, you're right. It was really funny to see like Ron Funches' voice juxtaposed with this like maniac shark just doing shark things, and just like blood just filling the screen, and like
all the blood.
Yeah. That was pretty fun. The blood was really funny.
It was pretty nuts. I enjoyed that a lot.
The Mad Hatter, though, the little pervy tidbits of his were hilarious. Like his little, like his coke nail, like it's like nothing's weird about that.
The one that he used to pick the earwax out of his ear. Oh my god.
Oh man.
Sniffing Harley's hair.
Oh.
In the middle of it, being like, "What? This isn't pervy. This is normal."
Caressing Batgirl's face with his fingers and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, he was so gross. It was hilarious. I wanted so much more of that character, and I just have to settle for what we got. It's okay. It's right. Like, it's, you know, I go to the trouble of defending Harley Quinn at the beginning of the show, saying they got balls. They killed the characters that no one else has, you know, will dare to do. But then you hear me lamenting. I'm like, oh, I just wanted.
I mean, I think you got enough of Mad Hatter.
I mean, you got his whole deal. You did get his deal. Like, he likes to murder, he likes to do crimes, and he likes to control people with hats, and he's really into the Alice in Wonderland theme.
I was confused in the show. Do Harley and Ivy know that Bruce Wayne is Batman?
I don't think they do. I think
so.
I think only the Joker knows.
Well, Catwoman knows.
Yeah, sorry, Catwoman knows, obviously. Yeah. I don't think they know, because that's why it's so convoluted right now. Like,
yeah, I don't think they do.
And I believe next week's episode will be them learning it. I don't know if you guys know the title of next week's episode. I saw it earlier.
Is it Whoa, He's Batman?
No, it's not that. It is. Oh wait, no. I could have sworn. Well, next week's is called Batman Begins Forever. But I could have sworn there's another one where they're just making fun of. I think it's Batman is Gay Man was another one I saw, but maybe that was axed. Maybe that title was axed. I think I saw that on Wiki. But yeah, it's called Batman Begins Forever, so it's going to be a Batman episode for sure. So they're going to learn. They're going to learn, obviously. But I will say the one thing, I know I do like this show. The one thing I've noticed about this season is, and I don't want to say it's not a choice they made, but I feel like it's not managing all the characters that this show has to offer as efficiently.
Yeah.
So that, like, it's been like 3 episodes and I've barely gotten any Clayface.
Yeah, no, it's been heavy on Harley and Ivy and their relationship, and Ivy's mission to save Frank, and very light on Clayface and King Shark throughout. But this episode at least kind of fixed some of the King Shark. But we're still sort of like, where's our Clayface?
The door's cracking open, because that was the issue with like the first 2 or 3 episodes where it was just Ivy and Harley, and I don't think those worked out just as well.
We got what?
Saul.
Oh, we did Cy Borgman.
Oh yeah, okay.
Cy Borgman. Yeah.
Cy, okay.
We got Cy for 1 episode. But yeah, no, I feel like they have less characters that they're managing now, right? Because the team used to be Harley, Ivy, King Shark, Clayface, Psy, and Psycho Man.
Yeah.
And now we don't have Cyborg Man or Psycho Man, and somehow this show doesn't have the time to pay attention to the 4 characters enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it has to check in with Batman and Catwoman, and it has to check in with Nora Freeze and all these things. And I'm not mad that we're getting that, but I just feel like, man, this season just feels like it's going really fast, and I've gotten very little actual story. I've just gotten a lot of funny moments, and it's
Right.
cool.
They got to wrap it up before it gets canceled.
Well, in fairness,
Sure.
I think they already wrapped it up before they even knew the verdict. I think they already finished animating the entire season. So who knows? But no, I still really enjoy it. Like, I really loved this episode this week. Yeah, that Mad Hatter was too much.
I mean, it was just like the title implies, just another Shark Lead adventure. Like,
yeah,
it's
where they don't actually team up, so it's not really a Shark Lead.
But you know,
adventure.
you get a fun little side story with King Shark. You get a fun Harley mission, and it ends.
but doesn't really do much to move the ball forward in the bigger storyline, I think. Yeah.
No, but you get I think the Mad Hatter kill makes up for that, right?
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
you get the payoff in that way.
There was a so before Harley goes out on her adventure, because she's got to leave Ivy there because she's sick from going into the green or whatever it is. So
yeah,
she's leaving her there, and she's leaving Catwoman in charge. And she said, and I actually had to, I like literally typed this into my phone to keep this in mind because this line was just so good. And this is what the show is really good at. She's about to leave to go kidnap Bruce, and she says to Catwoman to give her instructions on how to take care of Ivy. She says, "You stream that lubed up dildo disguised as a TV show, Bridgerton, or whatever people are horny for these days, and make sure she wants for nothing." And that was easily the best line of the show. I rewound it and listened to her say that line 4 times just to make sure I caught it all.
It was a pretty amazing one.
So funny.
The other moment I really enjoyed was the very beginning when it's like what's on that Tawny talk show, and it's about and it's the rat catchers. Normally he's catching rats, but did he ever think he'd catch feelings? And and it's like Ratcatcher is full on making out with a rat, and Harley's just watching this on TV, and she's like, "Gross! Is he fucking the rat?" Like, you know, like. Oh man,
the little check-ins with Ivy were great too. While she's like in her slumber, and she's just like,
going like ruining Catwoman's house with her
Super Saiyan mode. Yeah. She's full of vines. It's
Super Saiyan Vine mode, and yeah, I love that Catwoman is just a part of this season and let this mess into her home, and I love watching how it's just ruining her home. It's pretty hilarious, but yeah, it's definitely like I have little things that I can always complain about because it's like, go do more things, go faster, but like at the end of the day, what they're giving me every week is just it's comedy. It's so fun. And so I love this show for it. So I hope that answered. What was that?
I was gonna say, I'm serious. I'd have watched that whole episode just for that one line, let alone the other things that they give us, throughout it. Like that's what I think the show is really great at. Is just like it gives some like wild moments that you don't expect, like killing off characters, but it gives some really, really funny one-liners that kind of almost can, get missed.
Like zip.
Yeah, but when you catch them, you're like, oh man, that was some solid DC humor right there.
Yeah. And they have done, they've been pretty consistent this season about like constantly reminding you that Harley, is a crazy ass clown, but she's also a trained psychologist psychologist. And so like every episode, is it psychiatrist or psychologist? I can't remember.
Psychiatrist, I believe.
Psychology is a study. Psychiatrist is a practice.
But she was both then, I guess, whatever. But the point is, like, she really understands how the human mind works, and so that's a really dangerous combination for somebody as unhinged as her generally. But she has these moments where she's absolutely not unhinged. Like she has a lot of moments where she just wants to be the best thing she can be for Ivy, and it's pretty cool how she's always leveraging the intelligent side of herself that she likes to like stuff away. She likes to just feel her heart and stuff, but like every now and then she forces herself to like listen to her mind, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, she'll like, she'll use her mind. She'll be empathetic. She'll, allow her feelings to drive things, but then she'll crack a bat in somebody's face just so you don't forget she's Harley and that she's a villain. She's, she still wants to maintain that edge, but it's getting further and further away, it seems, the more that the relationship with Harley has grown and stuff.
Yeah.
And
she really just killed him just to like show that she
prove a point. She's still a bad person.
Yeah. She really just wanted to prove a point. Like he didn't really have to die. She just like wanted to show Batgirl, hey, don't forget, I'll kill fools. Like it's pretty funny.
Remember, I'm not a good guy.
Yeah. So that last half hour, that was your answer there, Fraser McLaughlin. So
yeah, there you go.
I hope you enjoyed that.
All for you.
Yeah, that was all for you. We got 3 more episodes of this show to come in. I really can't say I have like giant predictions for where it's going to go, but I will say, like, while I was doing my trivia for the kill counts, it was really funny because like I ended up watching the season finale of season 2 to kind of like refresh myself on how Condiment King died. And it's pretty crazy because in that season, that's when Gordon had just captured Two-Face, and Two-Face was inspiring Gordon to run for mayor. And so like they were planting the seeds for season 3 at the end of season 2. So that said, I hope we don't get a bunch of seeds planted for stuff that we'll never get at the end of this season. But I'm pretty sure we will.
Come on, Discovery.
I know, right? I wish more people watched this just so that Discovery knew how much we love this show. But all right, I think it's time we probably just enjoy what we got here and move on to She-Hulk and stop being sad that Harley Quinn's probably going to be gone soon. All right, same rules apply. Spoiler warning again. If you haven't watched episode 2 of She-Hulk that came out this week, and you didn't find like the 22 minutes that you needed to watch it, what are you doing?
It's a quick one.
But yeah, you should probably turn around and turn this off. Go watch it really quick, then come back and join the conversation. But
we'll still be talking.
Yeah, we'll still be talking probably.
It's only 20 minutes long.
It was only a 20-minute episode, but we'll probably talk about it for at least 30 minutes. That's how TV shows work. I mean, geez, just to be clear, like TikTok, my TikTok was the worst this whole week because
spoilers?
No, because every day I turned it on, it was somebody having to explain to white men that are fragile about She-Hulk that they need to be chill and accept the fact that it is possible for Jen Walters to be better at managing her anger than Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
And like every day for 6-7 days.
As a white man, Ian, can you concur?
I can concur. I think if anybody has I've seen the same, commentary going around, Dennis, and just every time I just kind of eye rolled, and it's like if you are of the opinion that is wrong, you are blind to the world and you suck.
Yeah, but the other thing like is somehow it got misinterpreted as she's suffered more trauma than him, or she believes that. And she never said that, actually. She never said that. She's just totally made a point that she is better at controlling it. And I'm like, I can't disagree, like, because I saw the movie with Ed Norton, and that guy wrecked a lot of things when he got angry, like, and that's actually Bruce was nice enough to mention that again in Avengers. That's my secret. I'm always angry. Well, if you're always angry, maybe you're not
Good at controlling it,
managing
yeah.
your anger
Well,
very well. Yeah.
I mean, if we want to get right into it, they even talk about that though, how the Abomination brings up a pretty damn good point about that movie where
Yeah.
he's working for the government.
Yeah.
He was just doing his job.
His job was to take out a monster, a threat, take out a threat.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, no. So this episode was titled Superhuman Law, and I fell in love with the episode the second I read that title, because I knew what they were going to be borrowing from, which is one of my favorite She-Hulk books, which was titled Superhuman Law. And as I watched this episode, the entire time, I was just so in love with it, because I was like, I'm freaking watching the book, but like different, because they're using the Abomination and some other changes and stuff. But yeah, for the summary of this episode is Jen is hired at a prestigious law firm, but must practice as She-Hulk and rep a complicated client, which is what Ricky just mentioned. The big reveal is Emil Blonsky, played by Tim Roth, returns after 15 years, right? Or 14 years? Was it 14 years?
No, 14, yeah.
Yeah, 14 years.
Tim Roth, yeah.
For Tim Roth, after being one of the first Marvel villains in the MCU, and then he was just brushed under the rug for 14 years. And we got a little glimmer of hope last year in Shang-Chi when we saw the Abomination pop up, but they didn't need no Tim Roth for that scene at all. I'm not even sure. Yeah, does he even talk?
No,
in that?
no.
He does talk, right?
I don't. No, I think he does. I think he does talk.
Like, he does say something to Wong
about pulling punches or not pulling
punches.
Yeah. But I'm not sure that was Tim Roth, was it? Like,
I don't know.
In any case, I love freaking Tim Roth, and I was so happy to see him return after all these years to be this character and to present a case that is pretty damn solid, with the exception of him occasionally breaking out with Wong to go do pit fights. I still don't understand why him and Wong are doing that, but I'm sure this show will explain that, because it seems to be a big point of this case.
On that kind of just point real quick, the 15-year gap between Tim Roth appearances, it got me thinking, because I was watching this with Selena, and then I kind of had to explain, like, okay, yeah, this is where he's from. This is from that other Hulk movie. And it got me thinking of that scene in Iron Man 2 where Tony's in the courtroom talking about the different countries having the technology.
He's in the Senate hearing.
Senate hearing. And he goes, other countries are like 15 years out. And we were like now there. We are 15 years out, more so in the MCU. And it got me really excited for Secret Wars, knowing that, like, damn, they are really playing the long, or not Secret Wars, Armored Wars. They got me excited for that, because it just like hit me there, like, oh wow, that's what they're gonna do. Everyone's caught up at this point.
Yeah.
And it's neat. It's neat that you have that legacy built in now. It's so cool.
I think that it's funny that even though there is a legacy built in, that Emil Blonsky felt the need to regurgitate his entire origin story once more in a few sentences. He was pretty succinct, but it felt as dumb when he said it this time as it did in the Hulk a million years ago, which was, I'm Russian born, raised in London, on loan to the CIA, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's a lot just to justify your accent, sir. Like, it's a lot, but it's no worse than any time Arnold Schwarzenegger ever has to explain his accent or muscles in a movie that doesn't require his accent or muscles.
Exactly.
It's so, I get it. It was funny, but yeah, no, I really liked Tim Roth in this episode just because he got to like, he gets a second chance, right? Like that character was kind of a throwaway like villain as far as a lot of
Well,
villains are concerned.
and that's strictly because at that time there was no MCU. Like there was no thinking, oh, we need to keep this character around, or we need to strengthen this character's arc, or we can bring this guy back. It was just, let's see how a Hulk movie does.
Yeah,
Like,
who's the other big green
you know?
person Hulk can fight?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, I'm a huge Tim Roth fan. I was super happy to see him back. You know, to have an actor like that in your stable and wait 15 years to bring him back is just almost offensive. Because Tim Roth is amazing. We all know this. We've seen him be amazing, and he will continue to be amazing. And just the few minutes we got of him in this episode, he was pretty damn amazing. So it's like I'm excited to see him. I do hope that it is, you know, we're going to see more of him through this series, and I'd absolutely love if Marvel recognized that they've got a really good actor and brought him through, you know, future iterations too.
That movie's like the stepchild, right, of the MCU, the Hulk movie.
It's a little awkward, but they have done a lot more to embrace it, right? What if brought back Betty for the first time?
What if brought back Betty? You got Thunderbolt Ross.
Ross got to come back through it and be there until he died recently.
I like the embrace of that movie. I don't think it's
as
bad as people say it is.
And then the most important part was they finally made the joke that was similar to the one Rhodey got, which is, I'm literally a different person, you know, like, and that was
they do the fourth wall laugh.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Aside from Abomination, who was really, really fun to see, like, credit needs to go to Tatiana Maslany for this episode, because, like, you know, I talked about last week how I loved that episode because it was so succinct. It was so concise. It made me understand who that character was in one 30-minute episode, right? She is driven. She does not want to be a Hulk, right? Like, what she wants to do is focus entirely on her law career. Like, that's what she's all about. And what was really cool about this episode is we got to see that pushed even further. So when she's, you know, skeptical about taking the case, but then meets with Blonsky, and she starts, you see the wheels turning in her head.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing about it is she's so shocked and so, like, salivating by all the details he's given that are creating a really strong case, right? That she's completely ignoring the really big red flags that he's throwing out there about, like, his 7 soulmates that he wants to go be with. Like, she doesn't even care about that stuff. She just wants to take this case. And you should be like, who are these 7 soulmates?
Who are these pen pals you're communicating with?
He sounds so crazy when he talks about these things. And all she's thinking about is, like, yeah, man, the government really screwed this guy, and I can win this case, you know? And that carries over into her conversation when she calls Bruce to get his permission to do this case. Like, she doesn't care what Bruce says. She's immediately telling him, I'm taking this case because it's awesome. She's so great at this. It's so awesome.
Bruce is totally going to meet his kid. I called it yesterday or last week. That dude has a kid.
I didn't think they'd do that so soon. I thought they'd save that scene for, like, later in the season.
It's smart that, now he's off the board, right? That answers the question.
You need him off the board.
When the final fight happens, why don't you call your cousin?
Yeah, it makes
now
sense.
They need to send Spider-Man back in space.
I honestly thought they were going to take him off the board a little later in the season, but this works. Now there's no question, you know.
Yeah. When the ship dropped in the first episode, I was like, oh man. Did he say Sicarian? Yeah. He did. Okay, we're going back. So it was just a matter of time, you know, like you said. I thought maybe it would be a little far, like one more episode with him, kind of showing her more, you know, how to be the Hulk,
or at least making fun of her. Because he is having a field day with this too, like, and he loves the name, right? Like, he loves. Oh, that's a great name. It has a nice ring to it. She-Hulk.
It was a little weird that he was able to talk to her on the phone for part of the time while he was on the ship before dipping out. But
it's a super phone.
I went with it.
Yeah.
I went with it.
He knows
He got
Rocket.
Fulton Tony.
He knows Rocket.
The show,
Screw
I mean,
Tony,
the
he
show
knows
also
Rocket.
being set in LA really gives us reason for why other people can't show up. Like,
Yeah,
did
they
we-
really they did confirm that for us this week. Like, because you were saying that last week, and I was like, was it? I didn't even notice.
I'm trying to
But
think
yeah,
who's in LA right now.
well, I am curious, like, how the hell Daredevil's gonna get to LA, but like, we'll see. Maybe she goes to New York. Maybe she goes to New York for
That's
a little
fair.
bit.
She has to go interview somebody related to the Blonsky case, and it'll take her to New York.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure Blonsky wasn't in LA, right? Like that.
No, yeah,
That
she had to fly
facility's not-
in somewhere.
Yeah, she had to fly somewhere for that, but they just glossed over that travel that she did.
That facility sucks though. If the Abomination can get out of your top secret security place,
I
Well,
mean,
he's
in
getting out
fairness,
to the portal. Come on.
yeah. But
It's not
we
like he's like-
we learned a few weeks ago in Miss Marvel that facility sucks.
are they the
Because-
same?
Yeah, it was the damage
Yeah.
control facility.
Okay.
Yeah. Like these randos that their one job, the security guards, was to escort the prisoners to their cells,
That
and
has
they
to be in New
failed
York,
to
then.
even do that. What?
It has to be like in the New York area then.
I think it is New York. That's yeah.
Then there you go. That's how Daredevil pops in.
Yeah. But there was another fun guest on this episode.
Oh my God! Please say that. Go ahead. I'm hoping it's the same choice I have.
It was Larry Appleton from Perfect Strangers, aka Mark Lynn Baker.
Yes.
I gotta be honest, as someone who grew up in the 80s, Jen's dad was a bit of a distraction for me, but I know that Ricky has no idea what we're talking about.
Just a dude with good advice.
Yeah. We got to see her family, which was really cool because other than the shows recently this year, which other than I guess the last 3 shows are the only characters that we've ever seen families for, right? Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and Miss Marvel are the only ones, other than Aunt May, which is like the one exception. But like normally we don't get to see people's families, but like the this year's characters have all been about, hey, they're very close with their families, and that's a really cool thing to have. But yeah, Jen just got invited to come over to the awkward dinner right after she got fired. And man, I could totally relate to that because I literally had a birthday party like 2 days after I got laid off, and that was just really awkward because it's like, how many times are you gonna have to answer the same question over?
Yep.
But no, her dad was played by somebody who is like, he was so famous in the 80s for being on this ridiculous show called Perfect Strangers, and then he didn't really have like I guess an easy time getting a lot of work out after that show.
Mm-hmm.
He is in an episode of The Leftovers on HBO a few years ago where he actually played himself as the actor who survived this crazy Thanos like snap on that show. And it was really meta and weird, and they referenced Perfect Strangers and everything like that. But outside of that, I haven't seen him in shit. So like, it was really nice to just see him playing a character that was just another side to him.
I wanted to see. I wanted to look up, and I didn't do it to see what he had been in since then, because as soon like before they even showed his face, as soon as he started talking, my wife was like, "Oh my God." She knew who
Larry
it was.
Appleton.
She straight up knew, like, before they even showed his face. Like, I at least had to wait to see the face, and was like, "Oh my God," she was already there. So he must have been on something to have him that familiar to her. But yeah, that was a great surprise. And I the entire scenes with her family, I liked. I liked Chet. Chet was a funny character. But I really liked what I really liked was her dad basically asked her some questions about Hawkeye that have been in my head for so many years about him retrieving his arrows, and I was
as if she would know.
But I could have sworn the Hawkeye show actually addressed that he goes back for his arrows.
I think Kate brought it up.
I think it did, but it was just one of those as not Hawkeye addressing it. other people are out there just like me as a, big Marvel fan going, does he like have somebody drop off extras when he runs out? Does he like retrieve them like I have done in many, many video games? How does this work?
Yeah.
If after he shoots his 15, is he just done? Like he's just, okay, I'm going to go back to the base? Like, he brought up a great question that I'd asked in my head many times. And that was just a great way to build that character up. Make him something more than just her dad,
Yeah, he was on Perfect Strangers for 7 years, and then after that, he had a few guest appearances on Hanging with Mr. Cooper,
Oh, Mr. Cooper.
Spin City. He was actually a guest on Family Matters and didn't play Larry Appleton, which is really weird to me because I'm pretty sure Family Matters was a spin-off of Perfect Strangers.
Yeah, I think it was.
And then, yeah, he's just got a few sporadic things here and there. Just every now and then, he's got some Law and Order, Criminal Intents in there.
He wants a new house or a new lawnmower.
Yeah. Some more Law and Order as a different character. Yeah, he's played different people on 2 different Law and Order shows.
He's a working actor. You can't. What are you gonna?
Yeah, but more recently, he actually was on Succession on HBO. So
that might be it. Because she just watched through that.
Yeah, so. He's got stuff going on. But no, it was fun to see him, and I really like the
mom.
What were you gonna say?
The mom is Tess Kincaid. She was on Homeland and Ozark and a couple other shows. She's got some history too. So
okay. I really like that they have the scene in the show. I kind of like the way She-Hulk is using the post-credit scenes, where like it's a scene that didn't quite make the cut for the main episode. So like in the show, he's like, hey, I need you to help me with something in the garage. Come with me. And then the next scene you see is him in the garage saying, oh no, I just said that so I can get you in here. And so I can say, how are you doing?
That's a real like dad moment right there.
Yeah. But I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, but really though, you would have asked her for chores. And then so I really like the post-credit scene where it's like, okay, yeah, he did ask her for chores.
He totally did.
And it cracked me up because like he asked her for all these chores that I don't think anyone would ever ask the Hulk to do. But I mean, there's a difference, right? The Hulk has got a lot of anger associated with him, and
I don't think the Hulk fits inside like a house.
I don't even think it's that. I just think it's the fact that his daughter is a Hulk. He's gonna ask his daughter to do some chores anyway. Like
the She-Hulk can fit through a door.
I love that the mom is like, I met a guy who wants to be a superhero, and I told him my daughter was a superhero. He didn't know who you were, by the way. But I gave him your number. Mom, please stop giving my number to strange people. Like it was so good. All of that was really good. But yeah, to your point, Ricky, she is smaller. I don't think that's the only reason why she's getting asked to do chores like, hang up the TV and stuff like that. But it is really funny. I like every opportunity this show does or it takes to like show how this is a different character than the Hulk,
100%.
Even if it means a little bit of like, sexism happening at play, because that is what's happening at play, yeah, it's cool. I also really liked so I mentioned earlier how I read Superhuman Law, the comic. I think I also read Single Green Female or Single Green Lawyer or something like that. Single Green Female. Those are the 2 like big story arcs I really enjoyed reading. But in Superhuman Law, like I haven't read it in a while, but I remember the general idea was she got fired because she turned into the She-Hulk and the jury was, biased, right? And so the trial was a mistrial because of that. And then she ended up having trouble getting work. She ended up just lounging on the couch at the Avengers Mansion. They got weirded out by that because she's like a full-on superhero that's just like being a couch potato, a big green couch potato who eats a lot of food. And so eventually they kick her out of the mansion and she goes on a bender, gets super drunk, is partying late at night, going to clubs, hooking up with random people like the Juggernaut. All kinds of funny stuff's happening before she finally gets this job offer for this, kind of evil GLK&H corporation. But what's funny is when they hire her in the comics, they have a stipulation. They say, we only want Jen Walters. And it's kind of a different scenario because in the comics at the time, she had been She-Hulk permanently, like almost like all the time. Like she preferred being She-Hulk. It made her, it gave her more confidence. She just felt like she felt more herself. And so the comic is the storyline that she goes through is, you know, having to re-find who she is as Jen. But I think for this show, since she just became She-Hulk, that switch that they do, which is, oh no, we only want you to be She-Hulk. I really loved it right away. I actually forgot that was different than the comic, but it works because that's somebody she's not comfortable with, right? So she has to face that because she's willing to sell her soul to be a lawyer because that's what, you know, I mean,
it's a job.
Lawyers
are
do.
doing. She really likes her career, and so so she's gonna go buy a whole new wardrobe and you know, make accommodations for somebody that she doesn't really want to make, but they're paying her bills, and so it's really funny.
Well, that's a pretty cool flip of that because it still allows you to explore the same territory, but it allows it to fit within the confines of the show and what they've already presented with us, which is that's smart TV right there.
Yeah, and it's still a great exploration of the character that allows us to learn more about her. It just makes for better TV.
It's an excuse for more She-Hulk on the screen.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what we're here for. That's we tune in for the.
I don't care about Jen. I want She-Hulk.
Tune in for
because as somebody who read a whole volume of She-Hulk, and then the next time I read one, they're like, "We want you to be Jen." I'm like, I don't want that, you know. But it ended up being a really fun comic for me.
Put those VFX artists to work.
Yeah, but the cool thing is, like, much like this, like in the comics, she does end up just trying a lot of the really weird cases that take place in the Marvel universe, and it gets really bonkers. And I thought that it was really cool. It's a very small detail that they put in there, but in the comics, the comic is really meta. So it's not just that she's breaking the fourth wall. Like they reference other storylines that are happening in the comics and stuff, or they will point out the inconsistencies. Like, like maybe the readers will write in and be like, how can She-Hulk be trying this case when I just saw her fighting Thanos in another universe later? And then they'll write an entire story to explain that she was cloned and this is what happens. They write these ridiculous stories to address it. But one of the funniest things they do in the comic is, for legal defense, they actually will reference Marvel comic books. So they have an entire library of Marvel comic books in their offices. And if you notice, when she's getting a tour of the office, there is one room where you can see all of the Marvel comics in filing cabinets. And I guess in their universe, Marvel is a company that writes comic book stories based on the adventures of the characters that exist in that universe. And it's it's just weird and meta, but it just tickled me when I saw the comic book room in there, and I was like, this show's gonna be bananas, guys. It's gonna be stupid.
I love that they're. I mean, just within this episode, because there's a couple other. I'm assuming you guys probably caught the little nods. I'll mention in more detail in a minute. But what I love is that the show has referenced Shang-Chi. It's referenced Avengers. It's referenced the original Hulk. It's referenced. It's already, just in one episode, they already touched on avenues to all of their other stuff. A lot of like, this is really showing that it's all connected type of mentality that they tried to sell us years ago. But speaking of what you're talking about, Dennis, about how in the comics they often reference other aspects of the comics, or even sort of use episodes or issues to sort of explain some stuff. Like the fact that they're pulling in from all of the other movies and references and things like that it very much lines up with her history in the comics and stuff, and I love it. But yeah, when she was looking for a job, they had her in the interview seat a couple times. I loved the way that they kept interchanging between the different jobs. Like it was almost like
the officers got shittier and shittier.
Yeah, it was cool. But when she was on the computer looking up, the job as a
mascot,
Swiss mascot, on the side of the screen, there was a couple other articles that were, links to other articles. And did you guys happen to see what? I only caught 2 of them, but did you happen to see what they were?
No,
because I know that I saw an article afterwards that confirmed the one, and then the other one was so. The first, it says related articles, and it's like, the little side thing on the screen. And one of them is man fights with metal claws in a bar brawl.
Nice.
Which is awesome. And then the other one is, why is there a giant statue of a man sticking out of the ocean? So we get a nice externals reference. And as somebody who watched externals and saw the giant
Eternals.
I want the externals.
Eternals, yeah. As somebody who watched that and saw this giant thing come out of the ocean, I was like, I feel like somebody would reference or mention that somewhere. And the fact that they did have even this little hint towards it is just showing that they are very dedicated to spreading these lines between them.
And that's why we brought you on this show, because you catch the things we didn't catch.
Dude, I rewind whenever I see any text on screen or an image that I didn't catch. Because also they've been dropping the QR codes in each episode.
There's a QR code.
For issues to read.
So anytime I see anything in the background, I'm always like, oh wait, I'm gonna rewind, and Lauren's like, oh great. That's rewind the flow of the show again. That's good, husband.
Oh wait, what's Ricky? What you got? What was your question you're gonna ask?
Oh, are the kids watching the show, Ian?
No, they watched Miss Marvel, and like I actually held off on watching the first episode to watch it with them, and then the night we were gonna do it, they both were just kind of like, yeah, we want to watch this other thing, and I was like, are you interested in She-Hulk? And they both kind of just looked at me like,
interesting.
Nah.
I was asking.
By the way,
it skews a little more adults, so that's why I was like.
By the way,
kids take it.
Yeah, I just looked up the trivia on this show on IMDb, and sure enough, why is there a giant statue of a man sticking out of the ocean, and man fights with metal claws in a bar brawl? I just had to click that, and I just didn't do it. My bad. Yeah. Did you get that?
The Wolverine reference is just great because we know they're coming. Yeah. But I thought the Eternals was even better because there's literally a giant celestial sticking out of the ocean.
Yeah. Did you catch that her phone lock screen was the backside of Captain America?
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And also there was
the credit scene of the first episode when she's talking about it.
Also, there was the fun little joke she tried to make about Silence of the Lambs, and then the guy just shut her down. I really like that because, like, that's one of the other reasons I like She-Hulk is the snark. Like, she just can't help herself. And when I told Lindsay, I was like, she loves doing that. And my wife said to me, she's like, yeah, she's pretty much you if you were a lawyer. And I was like, maybe that's why I love the comic.
It's not far off, actually.
Yeah. She's way into the sex lives of other superheroes, and she can't resist getting a zinger in there, even if it's like the most dire of circumstances. And that's what I love about her. Funny, and I wanted to point this one out because I learned it today. I did not know that She-Hulk was actually the last Marvel character created by Stan Lee during his giant run from the 60s to the late 70s. He wrote She-Hulk #1, And he never wrote another issue of She-Hulk after that, because then he kind of like switched into that figurehead role of being the voice of Marvel, and not so much running, writing the comics anymore. But what I learned was like the reason that he created her was a very strict business reason, in that at the time the Incredible Hulk TV show was really popular, but so was the Bionic Woman. And Marvel kind of just thought, like, if we don't create a female version of the Hulk, somebody else will. And so that is why she was created.
I didn't realize she was that old.
1979. Yeah. And by the way, I was wrong. It was not a car crash in the original story. I think in the version I read later, because those things get retconned sometimes. But in her version, it's more similar to Two-Face, where it's a mob person like shoots her because of a case that she's trying and stuff. And same deal, the blood transfusion with Banner and everything. But I think the car crash is fine enough. Whatever, it gets the point across.
It was a good way to do it quickly too.
Yeah, everything in that episode was a good way of doing it quickly.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, those are all the trivias I could find. I really do appreciate you for finding that one about the metal claws and stuff, because we all know they're there. The X-Men are there. We're just not.
Wolverine's gonna be weird, isn't it? Like,
I'm so excited for him just to be like, you don't understand. Like, my thing is like, if we can't get it with Spider-Man, like we can't, if we're just not allowed to have Spider-Man meet everybody.
Yeah.
The next best thing for me is let She-Hulk meet everybody, because it's almost as good as Spider-Man meeting everybody.
Yeah.
They're very interchangeable characters in my eyes as far as personality goes, and that's why I love them. And so I just want characters that are super serious and dark and stuff like Wolverine to have to share a scene with She-Hulk, who's just this giant CG woman who makes jokes and talks and breaks the
I guarantee there will be a splash page with both of them on it.
Yeah. And then eventually I need Deadpool and She-Hulk to be in a room together too, because
that would be priceless.
I'm okay with
that's comedy. That's comedy.
I mean, do they break the fifth wall? What do they do? Like
the eighth wall?
Are they breaking each other's walls? Like, I need that. I need it so bad.
No, I did appreciate that they like I said, that they kind of keep throwing these little teases in, and they keep referencing these other moments and these little like subtle nods here and there, because it just keeps build. It feels like Phase 4 was a little aimless, but now it feels like they're starting to find a focus. And I don't think that She-Hulk is the only avenue to that focus. I just think that in general, the last few things they've released have started to kind of show that they've that they've got a plan, that they're working towards something, and they're teasing us.
It's just so funny how impatient so many fans are, because like they always like there's so much internet content that exists showing all these connective tissues that like, oh, we just found out that this is connected to this and this is connected to this, and it's like they did have a plan, and it's like, duh, bro, they've always had a plan. You just don't like to believe they do. You think they're flying by the seat of their pants, but they don't get in year 14 without a very
the showrunner, Deborah Chow, right?
Is it? I don't think it's Deborah Chow.
Not Deborah Chow. No, she's Obi-Wan.
Gao. Yeah, I think there's a Gao in there.
Deborah Gao. She was talking about, because the stinger, or the
Jessica Gao.
Jessica Gao
is the writer.
They play the scene from Shang-Chi with the Abomination, and she was talking like that scene is there because of She-Hulk, not the other way around.
Yeah, that was very obvious.
Yeah.
Because it was stupid in Shang-Chi. I was like, why is this here? Like, and so it makes perfect sense that it's the other way around. Yeah, I get it.
I just hope we get to see Wong and this season. I want one Wong appearance. I want
Oh,
Wong
you
to
got
be
a
more
Wong
Stanley.
in the you got a
you
Wong
got
in the
him.
trailer.
He was there. You
Yeah,
saw
I
him?
want more. I want more Wong. Wong
Oh,
is
you'll
the
get
new
Wong.
Stanley. Wong just needs to be everywhere. He just needs to show up. What up, people? Say something funny, and then dip through a portal, and then show up in the next movie or the next series or the next thing. Like,
Yeah. Did you have more to add to that? Because I know I just jumped on that, Ricky, but like I fully agree. Like it's very obvious.
No, yeah, the plan's there. I think the ball's just rolling a little bit more, you know.
I think She-Hulk has the greatest potential right now to give people the things they've been wanting to see, which is the connective tissue. And I mean, look how much you pointed out just in those little headline blurbs on the side. You know what I mean? Like people, I've seen tons of internet like videos talking about like why don't they ever reference the celestial in the hand in the
exactly.
and
I mean,
it's like, what do you
there's
want? You want a scene of that where they're just talking about it? You know, like
there's
it's
a I mean,
it's
you
got to
want
be
to get
organic.
the rumors that there's a Ben Grimm in this show at some point. You don't think we get a D23 in 2 weeks? They announce the Fantastic Four, and that dude shows up a week
That
or two
episode.
later.
Easily could.
Like,
Easily could.
like that's all the chips are on the table right now.
Well, that makes sense because I believe Ben is the one who asked her to step in when he left, like as his replacement on the Fantastic Four. So it would make sense to establish them as friends early, you know, so that you can do that.
That'd be cool.
Like, you don't understand, like that was one of my favorite little trivias like that I gave you guys, which was what team has she not been on? There were so many more I could have listed. That could have been like A to P. But I was like, I'm just gonna give you 5, and you don't know how hard it was for me to find a team she hasn't been on.
Yeah.
Like this woman has even done
She's been
fastball
around.
specials with Wolverine. She has done fastball specials with a lot of characters actually, but I wouldn't say she's been in an X-Men, you know, but like if I put X-Men on the list, you guys would have got that right away. So it's like I had to try really hard to think of a non-X-Men team that she hasn't been on. She's been on the Defenders.
All these hooks get me
Shield,
excited. That will probably, you know, for a leader, you know, he's the last piece of that Hulk puzzle that we need.
Yeah, the leader. I will fully agree with you. I felt the same way rewatching the show today. I was like, dude, are we gonna get the leader? Are we gonna get him because I want him bad now? Because now
he's the only one.
Now I know because of She-Hulk. I know that nothing's off the table except Ed Norton. Like that's like that's what I know now. And so and also Thunderbolt Ross because he's dead.
God.
But
the legacy can live on.
Yes, the legacy can live on. But yeah, after this episode, I was just reminded of how bananas that comic is, and how that comic, that the job of that comic almost becomes the job of the editors at Marvel to clean up all the messy writing across all of their comics. And it's funny because they end up like saying, oh yeah, that one time this weird thing happened there, it's because of this thing over here, don't worry about it, you know, like, and that's what they do. That's what the comic does. And so this show has the potential of doing that and making people eat crow at the same time for not seeing the scope of the plan, you know what I mean? And it's gonna, and not even just this show, this character moving forward, you know, because I've even seen in an interview like with Mark Ruffalo saying like there will never be an Avengers movie from here on out that does not have She-Hulk in it. And you know, I know that's just Mark Ruffalo saying things, but like I get it though. Like, you know, like you have the She-Hulk now. You don't actually need Hulk to be part of that team. In fact, she makes a way better team member than the Hulk because she will actually listen to you. You know what I mean? So
she's herself. She's at the driver's wheel.
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day because I was remembering the funny scene at the end of Age of Ultron where it's like Scarlet Witch and what Vision and Falcon or was it them, or was it Scarlet Witch and
Scarlet Witch, Vision, Falcon, Wanda, and
it's
War
just the
Machine.
3? Oh, was it 4 of them there? And they're there, and they're the new cadets. They're the new trainees, right, for the Avengers. And I was just thinking to myself, like, of the new crop, what's the audition for She-Hulk? Like, I get that you're gonna have to make Kamala convince you to let her on the team,
Right.
but like, does She-Hulk just get in automatically because of what she is and what she can do? Like, what does she need to do to pass the test? Like, how many cars does she need to lift? You know what I mean? Like, she's just a legacy character, right? Like, she
If
just
she
gets
can,
to
if she can throw a rock and burn it in the atmosphere like the Hulk, that's like, here you
it
go,
does. Do you
audition, and
need?
we're done.
Is that what's required though? Like,
That's
I
it.
feel like that's
That's
going
the whole
above and
that
beyond.
thing had to have come down, so he probably killed somebody. Let's be
Might
real.
not. It might have left atmosphere. I think the burning implies that it left atmosphere, or it left orbit, but who knows? Anyways, I could keep talking about She-Hulk forever because I love her, but we should probably wrap this up. I'm very impressed that we talked for 45 minutes about her, considering I promised 30. But we should probably wrap it up. And I just want to say thanks to Ian for coming on the show. And I promise you weren't my 8th call.
No worries.
Really.
Even if I was, if I'm free and I'm down, like I'm always down to hang out and chat with you guys. I love being on the show. I appreciate, nerd commentary and just hanging out, chatting about these things that we love. So I appreciate you guys bringing me back. It was a great time.
Cool. And also thanks to Ricky for making time to do this as well every week. And obviously thanks to our patrons, which includes Ian right here, for supporting our growth, and to our audience for tuning in. If you had fun, please remember to like and subscribe, and check us out on Patreon for our after show, The Soapbox, starting a few moments from now. Obviously, as I mentioned before, if you happen to be in the San Diego area, you can find me next Saturday at Revision San Diego. I'll be doing a toy photography workshop. Thanks, Ricky, for putting that up on screen one last time.
Nice.
But yeah, just check out revisionsandiego.com to RSVP. And other than that, I think we're just going to go talk nerdy for a little while longer. So see you next time on Den Excelsior, true believers. Enough said.